I'm saucing on you. I'm swagging on you. I'm balling, I have a son. All right, yo. Good morning, good morning. We in here, bro. We are in here, bro. We are in here, bro. Snowed out. It snowed out. I got the pajamas on. Hold on. Let me see if I can even get the Christmas vibes. We're in the 12 days of Christmas. I got the Let It Snow pajamas on because it did snow. You feel me? Let me move this. See that John right there? Say, let it snow. Let it snow. We're outside with it, you know. Well, we're inside with it, but we're outside with the holiday vibes, man. With the 12 days of Christmas, snow on the ground. I'm in a good mood. My wife took my son down to the playroom. My wife took my son out of the crib for a minute, and I'm like, you know what? For years, I've been flexing when I win. I never flex when I lose because that's not a flex, right? For years, I've been doing the freaking, parlays and betting, but I've always said I don't want to be considered like a gambling influencer. I've always said like I'm just not one of those guys, bro. I'm not, and shout out to them, but that wasn't my lane. So like I never really dabbled in that. So what I'm saying to y'all is today I will actually dabble because we've been dabbling in a lot of things. So live on Twitter, live on YouTube, live on Twitch. We'll hit the chat and then I'm going to hit you with some things as far as weather. Weather is a big factor today across the country. Spreads and odds as far as, the over-under total. If you play touchdowns like me, you should look at the over-under total where they think there's going to be points, injuries, and yeah, we'll do all that stuff. So let me make sure TikTok is fired up live. Let's say Sunday sauce. You guys know when I was doing the Sunday sauce on the fan, I kind of branded that. Sunday sauce, cooking up parlays. I got some parlays that I cooked at like 6:30 in the morning. But nothing crazy because like I can't be gambling away my funds right now. I'm unemployed right now. Help me. I'm poor. Let's say, can we hit something? And now I'm also because I was doing TikTok live with my phone. I was literally just like using this tripod and I looked into TikTok Studio. So now we are officially going live on TikTok Studio on my 4K webcam. They can see me on TikTok now. So we'll be able to bring in the TikTok people too. But y'all, appreciate y'all in the chat. Got to give y'all love first and foremost. So let's do that. Bring in the StreamYard tab over to my monitor here so I can look straight here into the camera and then also bring you in a little bit. Yeah. Yo, the lone silencer, as soon as I put it up on YouTube, must have got the noti squad, notification squad. I say, you're casual gamer said good morning, and that prompted my good morning. You know, if I was on air from midnight into the next day, the KM to AM, whenever we actually went from PM to AM, I had the signature, good morning. I still got all the same things that I do. So good morning, the lone silencer. Your Chef Mamba out here on Twitch. We have had some conversations about how to build up Twitch. So we will get Twitch going as far as getting more people on the Twitch and getting into that algorithm and the discovery there. Go Patriots. Patriots Bills. That's a big one today. I'm excited for that game. There should be some points there and some opportunity to cash in. Pam, I know I can count on Pam with a good morning. Good morning. Happy Sunday to all. Stay blessed out there. Enjoy the holiday season. And yeah, we're up right now. Royal Tutorial. Shout out to your Knicks winning the NBA Cup game last night and getting to the championship. Yo, Keith, all the way from Texas over here. Hope to see you again. I'll be in New York for the series A's versus the A's on 4/14. My son's birthday is 4/13, so we'll probably go to a game. I'll probably be at all those games, bro. Just hit me. My barber in here, Ray. I got the silky wavy on, Ray. I gotta get down there, bruh. I gotta get down there. Maybe if I hit some bets this week, I'll book you, bro, because I need a fresh fade. I'm getting Scruff McGruff, the best barber in the world. Got Barber. Check out my Instagram, Twitter, and look for the video that I shot in his place. Gary Goldman says, just great to hear you. Feels cozy. It is, man. It is, man. You know, the snow on the ground, all that. And like I said, I got the pajamas on. Yeah. And this is the first time I'm wearing them. My wife and son got matching pajamas. They've been wearing them, I think, since like Black Friday. And I was like, nah, I'm waiting until 12 days of Christmas. Looking crisp and clear. Yeah. And we're gonna change some of this stuff around. You know, I always keep the lighting system. I don't even have the colorful lights on. I'm just going with bright white light. But like, you know, let's put a little bit of a red hue on there as well, just to jazz it up as we do from time to time. So got the red glow back there, got the red glow under me, and now I'll put on a little red glow in the room. It'll look more pink, but yeah, you see like a little bit of the red hue right there. And then if I drop this light, this LED light right here, let's see. Yeah, we get a little more of the red vibe, Red man method, man. Okay, look, now the TikTok chat is popping up now that I'm live on TikTok Studio. Let's see what they're talking about in there. First one in the chat, Yashil Reisher 5. And let me see if I can move this chat over to the, there we go, over to the monitor. Missing you on the fan. Yo, I said the biggest thing for me, and I went as long as I could, but the disappointment of, you know, people kind of finding out that I left and that I stepped down. I did not want to disappoint people, but like, you know, the amount of people that have reached out to say like, yo, we miss you. And it's like it was a big part of my life to listen to your show. Like that feeling of like leaving y'all hanging. Man, I had a video years ago where I said like the people that listen to me at night are my motivation, right? The motivation was never my family, my wife. Like my wife and son don't listen to the show. They don't care about the show. But I know there's somebody out there that's like dependent on me to get through their night shift. I know there's somebody that had a terrible day and is like, yo, I'm going to listen to Keith tonight and he's going to rock it. He's going to make me smile. He's going to make me laugh. He's going to educate me. He's going to make me think about things. So what I'll say is this. I hate to leave y'all hanging in that space, but I'm here in this space and I'm not retiring and I'm young and I got a long career ahead of me. Vincent says, why'd you leave the fan? I couldn't do the time shift anymore. I couldn't do that shift anymore. I couldn't do that time slot anymore. It was brutal on my body. I was breaking down. It was tough on my mental health. And like I said in the video, the number one thing is it was putting my family second. It was really creating issues at home for me. But yo, let's get into what we're trying to do here, right? We're trying to put together some bets and whatnot. So like little things like this pop up. Boom. Week 15 team projections. My boy Kenny Pickett, the pride of Ocean Township, New Jersey. Hold on, let me see if I think I do got my Kenny Pickett I always flex on because Kenny Pickett is the best quarterback to come out of my high school, but he ain't got one of these. That's a state champions. State champions. I probably got to clean this up, but I don't care. I don't wear it. State championship ring. Boom. Boom. Shout out to Kenny and the Raiders. Kenny steps in for Geno Smith, and Kenny gets to go back to Philadelphia where he was the backup quarterback winning the Super Bowl last year. So full circle moment for Kenny. I hope he balls out. With the Jets, Brady Cook versus the Jaguars, that's a tough look, and the Jaguars are hard to beat in their building down there in Duval. So, I cooked up some bets. I think guys like Parker Washington, Tim Patrick, Brenton Strange, like there's some opportunity to cash there. Phillip Rivers. Oh man, Rivers. Phillip Rivers, I think, is going to surprise some people. If they can keep him upright and he's, not getting hit, I think he's going to surprise some people. Shedeur Sanders is going into the cold against the Bears. It's freezing there. That's why I said we're going to talk weather in a minute. Cam Ward versus the 49ers. I think they're going to have a long day out there against that Niners, Rob Saleh-led defense. Jacoby Brissett at the Texans. The Cardinals are cooked. I think the Texans will roll them. And then really interesting game between the Chargers and the Chiefs. I think the Chargers find a way to beat the Chiefs, but people still think the Chiefs are like somehow going to the playoffs. So if they're going to the playoffs, they got to win the rest of these games, right? Today is KM to PM edition. You already know we outside, but we inside, and it's AM. It's AM. So whoops. Where's the AM, the KM to AM banner? That's what I was trying to hit. This is KM in the AM. This is AM KM. So the TikTok chat is moving much faster. It's funny, right? I just started going live on TikTok Live, and all we're doing today is cooking up parlays and looking at some stuff. So I like to bet anytime touchdowns. Anytime touchdown scores. This came from, I want to give them credit. I don't want to not give them credit, but I screenshot this, and I do not have their handle in it. This came from a sportscaster show. I'm blanking on it, but I owe them credit, and I'll make good on it. I like all of the guys. They said these guys are a lock to score today. I like pretty much all of these guys except the plus 800 Jalen Wright down there. I like all these guys that they cooked up to have a chance to score. And when you're cooking up parlays, I always say for anytime touchdowns, you got it depends on how many legs you're gonna put together, right? Anytime touchdowns, always have two locks. Have one middle guy and then like a long shot, right? Here's another one. And I don't know. I got to go to my Instagram, see where I stole this from. This one has like mostly locks, right? Like Derrick Henry, Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, DeAndre Smith, like Travion Henderson. Those feel like guys that are locks to get in the end zone in these high scoring games. But I'm going to, pivot to like what some of the thoughts I had with like anytime touchdowns and the weather. Chat is moving crazy on TikTok, bro. I'm using TikTok Live finally, and obviously there's a disconnect between StreamYard and TikTok Live. The people that are on TikTok can't even see the graphics. But yeah, let's get back to you. We go back, anytime touchdowns, odds, stuff like that, but still keeping people in the chat locked in. It feels nice in Florida. Stop flexing on us. We get it. You live in Florida. I just did a whole video about living in New York in the cold and how crazy you got to be to make it in New York. Keith, as you may already know, the Xfinity radio announcers will be replaced by a new cast of characters working for Westwood One. I know a lot of the change in the industry. I just saw someone, Greeno, said the fan, then Hot 97, just my opinion, politics took over the workplace. Like, there has been change across the whole landscape in radio. And if you're a radio fan like I am, I read all the news and I read all the tea leaves, and I feel like I have a good grasp of what's going on to end 2025 going into 2026. I will say again, my decision was independent of all of that. People want to paint me as some type of Nostradamus. No. People want to paint me as saying like I was reading the tea leaves or the writing on the wall. No, I ran my race 4 years. If you go back to when I started on the fan, I started on November 22nd, 2021. The last time you heard me on WFAN was in the morning of November 22nd, 2025. Like Frank says, you were out regardless. Nah, that's just like, it's not true. I was at the holiday party last week. I posted a picture last one. Like I've still been in the building. I'm still under contract. I could not continue to do nights. Like I could not. It was not a schedule that worked for me anymore. When I took the night job, I was freshly married with no kid. I am now 4 years married with a 2.5-year-old kid. Something had to give. Marine says you were great on the fan. What's the next move? I can't tell you that. Never let them know your next move. I can't reveal all that I know. I can't reveal all that I've done and worked on in the last couple of weeks, but I'm blessed. I'm extremely blessed. I've been unemployed in New York multiple times. I have switched jobs multiple times. I have struggled in New York. I have over 700 Lyft Uber rides under my belt from doing that. I've worked at a restaurant with no restaurant experience as a host, sitting people down, getting people menus and ketchup and utensils. Like, I'm telling you, I am not in that spot anymore. I'm nowhere near that spot anymore. So, have you seen the snow in New York today? Yeah, I live in Hoboken. So, I have my son looking out the window at all the snow this morning. It was magical. It was a great feeling as we're in this 12 days of Christmas to see that. So, yo, let's start cooking on. And let me clear the chat. Let me see. Theo Johnson or Kelsey today? I'll get to that. I'm a huge Jags fan. Please tell me Mr. Cook isn't going to give us a run for our money. No, he's not. What you think if the Giants end up with the first pick they do with it? They're going to win today, I think, and I don't think the Giants are going to be picking one overall. From one Yankee fan to another, I respect your sports mindset. I'm a Yankee fan first, but I'm a sports fan, and I'm a former athlete. Where's the ball? I'm a washed-up quarterback. Say hut. I'm a washed-up quarterback that got drunk in college and tried to knock down as many good-looking girls as possible. And then when it got time to get on the field, I was not at my best. And I'm fine with that. I graduated. I did what I was supposed to do. My boy H&L in the chat on the check-in. You already know. Dre, you already know. Dre, I tried to make you a mod. Let's see. I tried to make you a mod, bro. I don't know how to do it. Like, I just followed you. So let's see. Add moderator. Confirm. Check your account, Dre. Like I just added you as a mod now, so you should be good, bro. And I know you'll handle my light work in the chat. And like, yo, if they're hating, bro, let them hate. Let them hate. Let them hate. You know there's a line. If they say some racist stuff or they get way too out of pocket or way like if they're clearly just spamming the chat with hate, then get them up out of here. But if they're hating, let them hate, bro. I just watched the Stuart Scott doc last night, and he kept always talking about, he's like, there's always going to be haters. He talked about haters were a theme in Stuart Scott's 30 for 30 that I watched last night, and I loved it because I'm like, I can relate to this dude in so many different ways. He was an athlete. Right? He came in with a different style. He had hip hop embodied in his whole presence like I do. Like, if you haven't watched the 30 for 30 on Stuart Scott yet, go do that. Go do that. It should be like I recorded it. I think it came out like Wednesday or whatnot. I recorded it, but if you have not watched it or like you weren't even aware of it, and you're into sports, or if you're younger and you didn't really get to see Stuart Scott, God rest his soul, I made my wife watch it, and my wife she goes, you didn't meet him yet? And I go, I didn't tell her. I go, no, I haven't met him yet. She goes, was he live in LA? So like we're watching it, and then very early on, they talk about the late great, and they show how he passed, and my wife was like, wow. And, my wife was with me in college, and she's like, you used to wake up and watch 6 a.m. Sports Center on loop till like 9 o'clock. And then you would come home, and it would be appointment television for 6 p.m. Sports Center before baseball games. And then you would watch the midnight Sports Center. And I loved the evolution of Sports Center for years with all the different sportscasters. My first original dream was to be a host of Sports Center. I used to love Sports Center, bro. Like, I remember telling my wife in college, because she would want to watch something else. I remember telling my wife in college, like, we're not watching anything else. Like, I'm not watching anything else. Like, if you want to watch it on another TV, I'm like, all of this watching sports and watching Sports Center is going to pay off for me one day. I had a feeling. All right, the chat's rolling fast. Saquon for 2 touchdowns today? Perhaps. And that's a good way to start cooking here. So, here's one with Saquon that I cooked up. Nope. Where is it at? Right here, and I used my boost on it. So, Henry Segovia, thanks for getting us back on track here. 3-leg parlay, a profit boost at 25%. I only put Saquon Barkley in there for 1 touchdown. It's cold out. They're in Philly. Jalen Hurts had a terrible game last week. I feel like Dallas Goedert is going to score. I feel like they're going to try and get A.J. Brown in the end zone, Devontae Smith. And Saquon, he had a big game last week. So I'm not saying that he won't have a big game again, but I kind of played it safe with the 2 touchdowns. I think he can score twice, and maybe we'll cook up one of those again. Because something that I will say here is if you're pop like me and you're only making little $5, $10 bets, a way to get value, a way to really flip that value is to go 2 touchdowns. I always play 2 touchdown parlays. So let me bring that back up with the boost here. Kyren Williams. I think 653 for Kyren Williams to score 2 touchdowns is good money, because when they get in goal line situations, when they get in goal to go, Kyren Williams is going to score from 2-3 yards out. He sniffs the end zone. He always cashes in. And then Josh Jacobs, I mean, they're out there in Denver in the altitude. When they get close, boom, 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 boom. You let Josh Jacobs just bully his way in. And so I like that cook up. Notice that I don't put the money, but I'll tell you straight up, I never upload more than $250 into my account at a time. At 6:30 in the morning when I started cooking up, I just put 100 in. Like I said, I'm unemployed right now. I have money. I'm good. I'm joking when I say I'm poor, but I'm trying to give you guys like solid advice for gambling. If you are in between jobs or if you don't have the money to spend, do not put into the account as if this is going to be a payday. You will ruin your Sunday and ruin your week in the holiday season, where you got to buy gifts, where you got to go to holiday parties, where you got to go, you got transportation to pay for, you know what I'm saying? So like, please do not put too much money into the account, and do not make ridiculous bets thinking that this is going to be your payday. So this is the first one I'll put out there. If you want to tail it, I'll also say, I'm not telling you to do what I do. I'm not telling you to bet what I bet. I'm not telling you to follow my bets. But for the TikTok chat that can't see my live stream on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter, I have a 25% profit boost on Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown, parlayed with Kyren Williams 2 touchdowns and Josh Jacobs 2 touchdowns, and that gets you a plus 96.90 payout. A plus 96.90 payout. All right, so let's move on. And I think my washing machine is about to stop, and I think my wife and son might be coming down, from the hallway. But I do want to continue on that type of theme, because in the chat, Henry said Saquon Barkley, 2 touchdowns, and I was like, okay, Saquon Barkley 2 touchdowns. Let's go that way. Let's continue with the 2 touchdown theme. Here's another 2-legger. 2-leg to score 2 touchdowns. The pride of Southern Regional in the Jersey Shore area, Mike Gesicki. We are Penn State. He's back. He scored last week. I expect him to get rolling. 2 touchdowns for Mike Gesicki. You get plus 1,700 value for two touchdowns to Mike Gesicki. If you parlay that with A.J. Brown, who I just said I expect them to get A.J. Brown the ball, I expect Jalen Hurts to try to have a bounce-back game, and there's just going to be some simple reads for him, one-on-one coverage with A.J. Brown, get him the ball, let him do his thing against the terrible Las Vegas Raiders. Plus 1,200, plus 7, that's a 23,300 payout. you could put $1 on that and get money off that. Like, I'm not telling you to do it. I'm not telling you to follow me. I'm telling you this is what I cooked up. These are little things that I at 6:30 in the morning cooked up. Yeah, what happened to you? Why were you crying? Oh, you want to go snowing? Are you going to take them outside? I will. If you give me 20 minutes, we can go at 11. Football, hook. You got the ball. That's my this. So I was taking out my championship ring, Jack. So this is my tassel from graduation, and this is my championship ring. My state championship. I flexed it. I'm washed. I'm a has been. I'm a nobody. My son Jack has entered the room. Jack, you want to say what's up to everybody, or you good? You good? All right, here, hold the ball. Hold the ball. And say, yo, thanks for watching my daddy. Thanks for watching my daddy's stream. What you got to say to the people in the chat?
Oh, yeah, I want the garbage truck song.
You want a garbage truck song?
Yeah.
He wants to play the garbage truck song, his Blippy song. I'll play it in a minute, but not on here. Say, all right, see you guys later. Say bye.
Bye.
Thanks for your patience. Kids come first. As I was saying, let's pull up some of these other parlays that are cooked up here. So I think I just showed you Mike Gesicki, and I showed you parlayed with AJ Brown. Here's another one, right? Brian Thomas Jr. and Jaden Higgins. There's just good value on it, right? You expect the Cardinals to put a lot of emphasis on covering Nico Collins, right? Christian Kirk got into the end zone recently, but Jaden Higgins is a guy. He's tall, he's fast. Why can't he, luck into being open enough to get to the end zone twice? You don't put big money on this. It's a shot. It's a shot in the dark almost, because like that value. Stop, Jack. Brian Thomas Jr. to score 2 touchdowns. Brian Thomas Jr. against the Jets. Why can't he score twice against the Jets? Not crazy value, or not crazy to put a couple dollars on that value. $1,700 for Brian Thomas Jr. You've seen him go off. You've seen him do stuff like that. All right, as we continue with the live, shout out to everybody in the live on TikTok live. I'm now streaming on TikTok Studio, and I can start to see these things a little bit better now on TikTok Studio, which is cool because, this whole experience is a learning experience. And like now I can see total viewers, 327, 3 gifters, 12 new followers off this stream, 2,967 likes. So appreciate you guys on TikTok. I will continue to get TikTok better. And I'm sure there's some way in here on TikTok for me to embed the graphics. I see sound effects. I see. Okay, yeah. So I will get better, and I will next time have the same, stuff that I have loaded up on StreamYard. I'll have loaded up in here too. But I want to get through these like couple parlays and I'm saying again, don't follow what I do, but maybe this will give you some ideas for what you should do. A 2-leg parlay for, guys. I know I was talking to Dre one day about like there are guys that score twice, and if you can pinpoint the just 2 guys that are gonna score twice and parlay them together, it's cash. It's cash. Let me show you what else I just cooked up, and I still got more to cook up. These were like, I woke up at 6:30. It was snowing out. I looked outside. I couldn't go back to sleep. I'm like, all right, let me cook a couple other parlays. I already showed you Mike Gesicki and AJ Brown. Let's get a couple more legs. So more 2 touchdown parlays. Mark Andrews has games where he scores 2 touchdowns. You want to go outside? Yeah, we're gonna go outside. We're gonna go outside and play in the snow. So go get your snowsuit on. Go to mommy and get your snowsuit on. I don't need no snowsuit to go outside. Okay, anyway. Nico Collins, he can definitely score twice against the Cardinals defense. Josh Allen, house call, always taking the ball himself. So, like, it's a long shot cook, but it's worth putting a couple dollars on it. I always just play little parlays like that. If it hits, it's a great day. Again, disclaimer, that's not going to hit. That's probably not going to hit. If it hits, wow. If it hits, well. But, like, you don't put $100 on that. You put $5 on that. Here's a four-legger. Now, this is one I expect to possibly hit. And let's talk to it. Bashal Tutin at plus 300. I know Travis Etienne is going to get a lot of the touches, but when they get into goal line situations, he is the bigger back. Plus 300 for an anytime touchdown with him, like, that's something you put $100 on. Plus 300 for Bashal Tutin, anytime touchdown. I like it. Darius Slayton, plus 330. Darius Slayton got busy against the Patriots defense, right? Him and Dart out there today against the Commanders. Why not? Why can't he find pay dirt for plus 330? That's not like that's good value. Who is Dart throwing the ball to? Theo Johnson? Who is Dart throwing the ball to? Not Malik Neighbors. Wan'Dale Robinson? That's good value for Darius Slayton at 330. Ramondre Stevenson. Okay, Travion Henderson is, the younger rookie and gonna probably get most of the touches, whatever. But like Ramondre Stevenson is a vet with a veteran head coach. He's a bigger body. He could get a goal line touch. If Henderson scores the first touchdown, why won't they say, hey, Stevenson, you go get some? Good value at 210 for him. And then like I was talking about with Jalen Hurts before, he's going to want to have a bounce-back game. The Eagles are going to want to get him some easy targets, some easy catches. Dallas Goedert is all reliable. I could easily see Dallas Goedert scoring at plus 290. Those four together gives you plus 20,694. Like, I'm going to leave this one on the screen for a minute. Bashal Tutin, Darius Slayton, Ramondre Stevenson, Dallas Goedert. That is not a far-fetched four-leg parlay for anytime touchdowns. That's not a crazy parlay at all for that much of a plus 20,000 odds boost. That's crazy to, cook up something like that. I'm sharing it. Again, when it don't hit and don't work, don't come back to the stream and be like, yo, you told me to bet this. I'm not telling you guys to bet anything. It's just been years that I've been talking to people that are like, yo, show us your slips, show us your bets. And I'm like, nah. Here's another one. Henry says, risky pick, but I think I like Isaiah Likely for a TD against the Bengals. I like that as well. And so I cooked up a National Tight Ends Day parlay today. Take a look at this. Hunter Henry for the Patriots, sure thing. In those short yardage goal line packages that they run, Drake May will find him. Plus 200 is good value for Hunter Henry. Parlayed with Theo Johnson, who I was just speaking of. Theo Johnson doesn't know which way Long Island, Pennsylvania. I don't know if you guys saw Hard Knocks. Him and Dart are friends. They are not from the area, and they do not know which direction New York, Pennsylvania, anything is. Theo Johnson, I like to potentially find the end zone today if he can catch the ball and hold on to it. Brenton Strange, tight end. National Tight Ends Day parlay right here. Plus 270. Good value for him against the New York Jets. Who's covering him? Who's stopping him? Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz is a guy that's a sneaky play at plus 230. Goal line situations. Up the seam. CJ Stroud's back. He's got good rapport with him. If they're putting all the emphasis on Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz will find pay dirt today. And then lastly, Isaiah Likely. I've talked about Mark Andrews today, but Isaiah Likely, right? Lamar Jackson trying to answer some of his critics and get it going. This is a guy that last week should have had a tud. Isaiah Likely for some revenge this week, getting into the end zone. That's plus 40,998. Plus 40,998. So you know what you can even do? That's crazy odds, right? So don't put all five. If you just like Isaiah Likely, Dalton Schultz, and Hunter Henry, do that. Isaiah Likely, Dalton Schultz, and Theo Johnson, do that. But I'm just showing you what I cooked up with, my couple dollars in the FanDuel account. Okay. 11 minutes, and then I'm going to go outside and make snowballs and play tackle football with my baby. Let's see here. And people showing love. He is so cute. Oh, adorable. My son loves the garbage truck song. Yeah, any of those Blippy tracks, they bang around here. Yeah, my son likes all the Blippy songs for sure. Couple more things here. So I showed you that long shot. Did I show you this long shot? Here is a long shot, but a logical long shot. Do you think that the Seattle defense that has a few touchdowns, right? Like if you remember that game against the Cardinals, I think they had a couple of. Do you think the Seattle defense can hit Phillip Rivers today, strip the ball, pick it up, and take it to the end zone? I think so. I can see that. I can see that. Do you think today that they could pick off Old Man Rivers? I think so. I think I can see that. Do you think that that is a possibility for the Seattle defense to score at plus 600 today, going up against Phillip Rivers? Oh, you got the snowsuit on now. He got the snowsuit on now. Now I got to show him. Now I got to show him. Because I don't think last year I don't think you could fit in this this snowsuit. Last year I think you were too little. All right, come over, Jack, so they can see your snowsuit. Oh, big boy in the snowsuit. Yeah. Yeah. All right, baby. All right. Couple minutes. Yeah, you're an astronaut? You feel like an astronaut? Those are like space pants, right? Daddy's gonna wrap this in 9 minutes. And then we're gonna play, okay? Yeah, we're gonna play outside in the snow. Get your boots and get your warm hat too. All right, where was I at? I was talking about a long shot that made sense to me. Seattle defense. Hey, play them. Even if you just play them at plus 600 with $100 on that, play them because they could easily rattle Phillip Rivers and get the ball from him and score. Brian Robinson Jr. If they blow out the Titans, which I think they could, and CMC, they call the dogs off, Brian Robinson Jr. gets the rest of the carries. And he could find the end zone. You Giants fans remember him finding the end zone late against the Giants when they were smoking them. And then David Montgomery, he's due, man. He's due. I expect a high-scoring game, and you know they're going to be trying to stop Jahmyr Gibbs. So David Montgomery's got to get going, and maybe he'll get those goal line touches. And I think that will cook. I see on Twitter, or not Twitter, on TikTok, they're asking for the tight end parlay again. The tight end parlay that I had cooked up was Hunter Henry, Dalton Schultz, Brenton Strange, Theo Johnson, and Isaiah Likely. Now, you could do 3 of those 5 legs. I always tell people, don't do any parlays more than 5 legs. You're going to lose. And you're going to be mad. If you're doing anything more than that, you should be doing a round robin and putting the money on it that way. You should be doing round robin so that you can get some. If you're doing 6, 7 legs, do the round robin where like you'll get cash on 3 of them. But yeah, shout out to Dre who's pinning some of this in the TikTok chat. So Dre, if you want that again, Hunter Henry, Dalton Schultz, Brenton Strange, Theo Johnson, and Isaiah Likely, National Tight Ends Day. Maybe pick 3 out of those 5. Let me see what else I cooked up. Anytime, touchdowns, 4-leg parlay to get it over 10,000. Mark Andrews, Brian Thomas Jr. again. Oh yeah, you had that in the tub. Awesome. Yeah, you were playing that with that in the bathtub. Nico Collins gonna score, and then this is how I say the strategy of take some guys that are locks and throw in one long shot. Demario Douglas is a long shot, a big play threat for the Patriots, and a guy that you've seen score before. And you know what? Who likes to throw the ball up deep, and when he's got a guy and they draw that play up, Drake May will deliver it. Who's going to be that guy for him today? I don't know if it's going to be Diggs, Mac Hollins, Kyle Williams, Booty. Maybe you go Kayshon Booty, but Demario Douglas, I like that plus 600, and maybe you swap out somebody else there. Let me see. Where else did I have? Okay, so that's all of the parlays I cooked up. Let's cook up one together now. Let's put one together now. And I want to go to, this is what I was looking at. So like, I had the weather up I kind of sometimes want to stay away from weather games, right? So let's see here. Like here's one of the games I'm gonna stay away from because the weather sometimes it could just be low scoring. And so like we don't even need to play with that. Like you can have some bets, obviously, like they're expecting points in the Ravens Bengals game, but it's gonna be so cold, man. Sometimes these guys don't get it going. It's just like the weather affects the football, like the actual football, how the football feels, the play calling, the football players. You are better suited to just go for the better conditions. So let's actually like pull some of these like cold games today, and after we do that, we'll cook up a quick parlay before I try and get out of here at like 11. Like that Jaguars game, man. Why not? Why not? They're down there in Duval in Jacksonville, Florida. It's the Jaguars against the Jets and a third string undrafted free agent quarterback. Why not? Why not try to cook there? Here I'll pull up the games that I think I'm gonna stay away from as far as like putting a lot of money on these games. Let's see. Can I load all these up? Can I load all these up at once? Yeah, I can load all these up at once. Yo, and shout out to people in the chat. If I don't get to you, message me. If TikTok, my DMs are open. Instagram, my DMs are open. I've been talking to so many people lately. Like, hit me if I don't get to you. You guys know where I'm going after this. So, here's an example, right? This isn't bad. 30 degrees outside, that's football weather. I would play A.J. Brown. I would play Dallas Goedert, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts to score, of course. Saquon Barkley to score, of course. And you know who's a sneaky play today? Brock Bowers, right? It's Kenny Pickett throwing the ball. He's going to force the ball to Brock Bowers. When we cook up, I'm actually putting a note right now to the side. Brock Bowers anytime touchdown is part of this cook up here. So let me go to that right now and lock it in. And you know what? Brock Bowers actually, when we talk about 2 touchdowns, Brock Bowers has incredible value right now. Brock Bowers at 2 touchdowns. Brock Bowers at 2 touchdowns is plus 2,700. So like if you just put $10 on that, it'd be 270. I do want to go outside, and mommy's gonna get you going, and then we're gonna go live. I thought you guys were gonna be in the playroom for longer. All right. Daddy's got to go. Let's finish where we're talking about the weather. 29 degrees in MetLife. It's cold and it's snowing, but it's not gonna be snowing later. I think this is playable. 46 points over under, and that's another thing too. The over under. Like I always look at that for touchdowns. Like they're expecting points. Somebody's got to score them. Let's go here. The Browns going to Chicago, 11 degrees. Like that's a cold ass game, and they're expecting 38 points. They're not expecting a lot of points. The Browns offense, and the Browns defense versus, Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. I don't know if I'm touching that game too much. I don't think I have too many plays from there. 15 degrees, Ravens, Bengals. It's going to be cold. They're going to run the ball, but they're expecting 51 points. Enter at your own risk. Another cold game. Buffalo Bills at Patriots. They're expecting 49.5 points as the over-under. I got some plays there because those are cold weather teams. They're going to be ready to go. Last but not least, 17 degrees in Kansas City. Okay, so I'm cooking up one more parlay here before I dip out because I got to be a good dad. And I'm glad that I can give some of you a window into, listen, like, my son doesn't care if I'm live. My son doesn't care if I was on the radio till 2 o'clock in the morning and didn't go to sleep till 3:30. When you have kids come first, and you got to do the things you got to do for them. So I like that Brock Bowers 2 touchdowns, but I'm not going to get greedy because I think they're going to get absolutely steamrolled. So one of the touchdowns I'm going to add is Brock Bowers. I'm also going to add Jalen Hurts because it's like a little bit of a far-fetched one and more of a lock in that Eagles game. In the chat, tell me, I'll take some from the chat. Tell me what game or what player, some people in the chat are looking like. Shout out to Dre working hard on the TikTok as the first mod. We got over 5,000 likes, and Dre is celebrating that with a pinned post. Let's see. Yo, my guy Neil in the chat. What's up, Neil? Stephon or Mac anytime touchdown. I like Stephon Diggs, and you know what I was seeing? And I didn't have time to get to. Look up the incentives. There are guys going for incentives today, and that will play a big part in it. So, like, you know, as you mentioned, Stephon Diggs, there is this whole thing out about, like, what these guys' incentives are. That's why I think I put, you know, Hunter Henry, and you mentioned Mac Hollins. Like, they got to get Mac Hollins going. I'll screenshot this and add it real quick. This is coming from Wonder Fan app on Instagram. You know, the incentives do play in. I mean, they're not gonna gear the whole game to getting these guys paid, but they do want to look out for their brothers. They do want to look out for their boys. So, like, Mac Hollins to score today, or Mac Hollins, if you want to play his over under yards, boom. Like, look at this. Mac Hollins incentives. If he gets 40,000 receptions, 300,000, right? So if you want to play his catches, right, that's a good play. Not even playing him as a touchdown. But I do want to pick Stephon Diggs to get in the end zone because he's crafty with his route running when they get close there. He's plus 150. So we've got 3 legs right now. Brock Bowers, anytime touchdown. Jalen Hurts, anytime touchdown. Stephon Diggs. Let's add another one, maybe 2, as I'm going to the chat to see what they're talking about as far as who they like. Justin Jefferson, I don't like tonight, but there is an anytime or there's a 25% profit boost on him tonight. For Justin Jefferson, a lock to score. I wouldn't say he's a lock to score. I don't trust J.J. McCarthy. He had a good game last week. I wouldn't say he's a lock, right? Guaranteed Jay Jettas, I would not guarantee that. George Pickens to have a good bounce back game. I like that. George Pickens. Chase Brown, let's see what the value is on Chase Brown. I do like that in the cold, running the ball. Do we get plus money on Chase Brown? There we go. Plus money on Chase Brown. So that 4-leg parlay we're going to put together, and I'm going to go outside, play with my son. Boom. Let me see if I can wipe my screen off. If you put $10 on these 4 guys right here, this will be our cook-up. And let me move this light. Boom. Can you see that now? You can see that a little better now. Brock Bowers, Jalen Hurts, Stephon Diggs, and Chase Brown. $10 to win you $366. I like it. Let's run it. Place bet. And that's all I've got. I'm out, man. Appreciate y'all. I got to go be a good dad. First and foremost, every day, all day. And I'm glad you got to see my kid a little bit. He's a star in the making. And when he's older, guess who's going to be my co-host? When he's older and daddy continues to build his own McPherson brand and business and all of these things that come from sports media and digital entertainment and live streaming and podcasting and social media and all that, as you all have seen, I'm blessed to have the opportunity that I had at WFAN for 4 years as the nighttime radio host at the #1 sports station in the country. But there is a lot available and a lot to do. And yeah, I will see you guys soon, man. Enjoy the games today. And I'm sure I'll be live tomorrow. So thanks for watching. Make sure you hit like if you're on YouTube or Twitter or wherever. Man, we really got it cracking on TikTok today too. First one ever on TikTok Live. So stay blessed, stay up, and stay ready so you ain't got to get ready, man. I'm ready to go outside and play in the snow. Have a good one.